name is Charline. I'm a student in the Bachelor of Arts program in College for America at Southern New Hampshire University. I'm conducting this interview as a part of my academic work. With your consent, I will record this interview and use the information in the street interview and use the information in street interview as I'm working on a project which is development and you. This interview will be used to put street interview and submitted to College for America so that my project will be evaluated. This recording will be used solely for this purpose. The interview information will be stored in the College for America and it will be assessed only by College for America staff. Do you have any question? Do you give me your consent to interview you?
I, Hebron,
I, Brian, I give my informed consent to participate in this interview to be recorded and used as part of the students' academic work.
yes.
Yes. I have some questions to ask you as you give me your consent. The first question is, what are the three branches of the government?
I don't know.
The second question is, what does each branch?
I don't know.
The third, Democrats and Republicans are the major parties. Can you name the third part?
I don't know.
The fourth is, what is the process by which a bill becomes a law?
I don't know.
Thank you for giving your consent to interview you, even if you didn't give me any answer, but you did the best to be asked those questions. Thank you. Hi.
Hi.
My name is Shadin. I'm a student in the Bachelor of Arts program in College for America at Southern New Hampshire University, and I'm conducting this interview as a part of my academic work. With your consent, I will be recording this interview and use the information in street interview as I'm working on a project which is development. The interview will be used to print the street interview and submitted to College for America so that my project will be evaluated. This recording will be used solely for this purpose. The interview information will be stored in the College for America and it will be assessed only by College for America staff. Do you have any question?
No.
Do you give me your consent?
I, Tantine, give my informed consent to participate in this interview to be recorded and used as part of the student's academic work.
Yes. As you give me your consent, and I have some questions to ask you. The first question is, what are the three branches of government?
Yeah, thank you. What I know from that question is that there is legislative branch, executive branch, and the other one I can't remember.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The second question that I have is, what does each branch?
Yeah, from that question, what I know is that executive branch is there to lead and execute laws.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And what Democrats and Republicans are the major parties. Can you name the third part?
Yeah, I know that the third part is called the independent party or federal party.
The fourth and the last one is, what is the process by which a bill becomes a law?
Yeah, for sure, I am not sure about that question.
Thank you. I am thankful for this time you spent for the interview. Hi, I'm Charline. I was working on a project which is the government and you, where I have to answer different questions, which is and which was I had also to use those questions to in the street interview in order to gather information to the government of US. After conducting two people in a street interview, I didn't find the necessary information on the government of US that I needed. Uh, but now I did the research and I found the necessary information that I'm going to use when answering those questions I had to use in a street interview. The first question was what are the three branches, which is those three branches are the first is legislative, judicial, and executive. The second question was what does each branch do? Uh, in legislative is where the laws are created, in judicial is where law are evaluated, and in executive branch is where law are implemented. Uh, after that, in that question there is another question that is included, which is how those branches are connected. In a legislative is where laws are created, where in executive the executive evaluate the law created by legislative, and judicial implement law evaluated by executive, and where executive evaluate law created by legislative is how those branches are connected. Next one is how those branches regulate each other. In judicial, they interpret laws, and where the Senate confirmed the president nomination position. In legislative, they make law, and where executive have responsibility for enforcement the federal laws. This is happen day to day, is not for a long time. And in executive also, they have the responsibility of protecting the national borders. The third question that I had to answer is that the part that remaining in the US government, apart from the Republicans and Democrats, that part was those two parts, which is Republican and Democratic, was included in major party, and major party, and the author was assigned to fund the other part, which is not in major party, which is in minor party. This party was independent because it was not included in Republicans and was not included in Democratic, which means that is independent, was working for itself. This because the Democratic was not depending on that, and on that minor part, and that minor part was not depending on Republican nor Democratic. This part of minor part has different idea which comes from the major part, and those ideas was to convince people, and those was to convince people from US and to understand their opinion, how they think on something, and if those people understand and become convinced, they follow them in what they are doing. The question which follows this is how those two parts started. Those two parts started, the Republicans was known as Federalists. There was other part worked with the Republican, which was Federalist, and in that part there is another part which anti-federalist. This was weak part, but after found that is weak, they create the strong part. Those two parts remain in the America for a long time, not for a short time. Uh, the uh, the other question, which is impact to the third part have on the national politics. The impact of the minor part to the republic. This part pushed people to think the ideology in their country to bring the idea which is not good in the people, and that idea lead them pressing the problem like killing people, uh, create for different people. This and this they need the effort to be supported by the major party. Uh, the st- uh, I have to I have to answer the other question, which is the step of how the bill becomes law. The bill becomes law in different. I have found 9 steps, which I'm going to say. The first step was bill's form. This one is where everyone can be eligible to draft a bill, and this can be difficult to be introduced by the member of Congress. The second one is committee action. Is where the bill gets chance to be introduced when they are going to be examined in a house and by a senate. The senate is here on this step is where the Senate sends a form to people to select the bill. The third step is subcommittee review. This refers to the committee for study and get put in another case. After hearing the different opinion from the people, and after understanding the 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 opinion the idea of different people, they this help them to send the people also. They get chance to change this, and also the Senate and House sent the people to help them understanding the view of the bill in this step. The fourth, which is makeup, uh, in this is where the Senate and the House get chance to change the bill. After is this happen when making the debate with different people and try to make the change. Voting, which is the 16th, the 5th. This step is where the debate of the amendment of the vote of a bill in terms of considering the number of votes. The 16th, which is committee action, this goes with the reaction of the recommendation of voting the bill by committee. This called ordering a bill reported. Referral to the chamber, which is the next step, is where the bill passed by the House and the Senate. As the one who followed the bill, this is where the House and the Senate, because they followed the bill, they passed the bill uh, to the people. And this is where the bill get approved of being received, rejected, or ignored, in order to see if they can change, if they can implement other ideas to get a new bill. The 18th, which is conference committee action. In this one, other chamber process of the bill is done. This is where they should confirm in the House and Senate is where an approval report made. In this conference committee, the Senate and House write the report of approval for a bill. Also, they sent that approval to the president in order to confirm to be confirmed as a law. From this, when there is the election for the subcommittee, and they didn't inform to the one they didn't inform to the House or to the Senate, they uh, the laws or the bill is died. So this the bill get died in the last step. So I'm done. Thank you.